cek 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 1 2 cek 1 cek cek cek. Udah yuk. Hah?
Anda bergibah. Bentar lo, aku cek ini lu bentar nih kan. Cek, cek 1 2 3 3 2 1 cek 1 2 cek cek 1 2 cek cek 1 1 cek cek 1 1 1 cek 1 1 cek 1 1 1 cek 1 1 1 cek cek 1 1. mobilnya? Bentar. Pak.
Hello and welcome to Udiana Cricket Ground here in Bali for day 2 of this ICC Under-19s T20 World Cup East Asia Pacific qualifying series. I'm your commentator for today, Andrew McLean, and the match is about to get underway. It's going to be PNG batting first, and so it's going to be Varghese taking...
Morning, Andy. How are you?
Oh, Effie.
Just crushing your task for today.
Thank you for coming in. Yes, I just thought with... There we go. Let's just watch this first delivery. And it's hit on the pad, Varghese. Just need to pick up who the bowler for Fiji is there. But anyway, there was no real danger of an LBW. It's a right arm over the wicket bowler to a left-handed batter. So that's number 6. So let's just see who that is. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong team sheet here. There's this next one to... in fact, it's Parler on strike. So that was just down the leg side. Not signalled wide. Oh, yes, in fact, it was signalled wide. So PNG open their account. Okay, so now I can see it's Ismaili, who's the opening bowler for Fiji. But yeah, thanks again for the opportunity to come and commentate. Effie, a few more people here today than usual when I come here.
Yeah, we've got the Fiji embassy coming down to see them play.
This next one from Ismaili is wide outside the off stump, and that's a second wide, so just a little bit offline so far.
So just info, both Fiji and PNG has not won a game of this tournament, so they both lost yesterday, so this match would have the first winner between PNG and Fiji.
Alright, here we go again. This one's a full toss, and it's down the leg side again, and another wide. Yes, I actually had to attend a wedding yesterday, so that was the reason I wasn't able to commentate. It's the first ever Balinese wedding I've been to, and it was quite an occasion actually.
Yeah, should be quite amazing, isn't it? Yeah, no problem though, because we've got other commentators coming in, ex-players there, so all good.
Here's Ismaili again. And this time it's outside the line of off stump. It's a swing from Parler, but doesn't make contact. And through to the keeper, Salivia. Oh, well, once again we've got lovely weather for it. I think the rainy season's well and truly finished here in Bali now.
Correct.
It certainly hasn't rained recently. This next one is
up in the air.
Yeah, lobbed up in the air, but falling safely into the offside field.
It was actually quite worrying this morning because it was a bit of a dark clouds coming over, but now we have sunshine and it looks like going to be a good day.
Yeah, little bit of breeze around, but not a lot. Here's Ismaili again, and this time Parler plays that one to square leg. They think about a single. Oh, that could have been very dangerous, but Parler quite rightly sent Varghese back there, and no harm done. So we'll take us through the scores from yesterday for people such as myself who missed the game.
So yesterday we've had the first game was Indonesia versus Fiji. I think Fiji batted first and scored 43, okay. And Indonesia chased for that in the 6th over.
And once again, it's down the leg side. So what, chased it in 6 overs?
Correct. Huh? So win that quite comfortably. And then the second game we've had Samoa versus PNG, which was truly more exciting game than the first game. Okay. So Papua New Guinea batted first. They scored 123, which was, I think, quite a big score for this age levels.
This next one is played away into the leg side into the vacant mid-wicket area, and Parla gets off the mark with a single. PNG move on to 5.
So PNG scored that 123 in the first inning, and then Samoa actually chased it down in 5 balls remaining in the last over. So it's quite an intense game. Farah Farane from Samoa actually scored 44 runs, and yeah, just to take the whole game.
Now that's very exciting. So, see the chairman of Indonesia cricket strolling by, as always. Always a keen spectator, as this next one is, again, outside the off stump to the right-handed Parla. Wasn't taken cleanly by the wicketkeeper, and it's signalled wide again. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wides in this over. So she's not conceded. She's only conceded 1 run off the bat, but yeah, 6 off the over so far. Here's Ismaili. Can she get it right this time? And again, it's wide. So 6 wides plus a single. PNG, good start for them. 7 without loss.
It's quite long over there for Fiji.
Yeah,
So
have they introduced the stop clock yet on? Oh no, that's between balls, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in some forms of T20, there's actually a time limit on overs
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah, not on this level, I guess, because you know, all the players are fairly new to international cricket.
Yeah, I was tongue-in-cheek there, Effie. Here's Ismaili again. This one is pulled into the leg side, or swept into the leg side. There's a fielder out there coming in off the boundary, so it's just 1 to Parla. And that is the end of the first over. So, good start for PNG, 8 without loss. And it'll be interesting to see.
So that's actually 12 balls being bowled, so that's 2 overs already.
Yeah.
Hopefully she can come back after that.
So what are the relative rankings of all these sides? I imagine based on what you said, Samoa and PNG are fairly well, fairly even. Would that be fair, ranking-wise?
Interestingly enough, well, the under-19 doesn't have rankings, but obviously if we count from seniors, PNG and Indonesia is top 2.
Right.
And then comes along with Samoa and then Fiji.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
okay.
currently how the ranking works. But yeah, obviously with the senior under-19, it's quite a different game, right? Different players. So it will come down to which countries have better in terms of like fielding, bowling, and batting, in terms of developing them. Because you can see the gap between the senior and the junior here, but
Yeah.
also like which one has the best from those 3 components, which one has the best components to win the game. And I think if you have the fielding taken care of, then you go a long way in this level.
And the first ball of a new over, there's a shout for LBW against Vagi, off the bowling of sorry, excuse me, let me try and get this.
Wakanisau?
Wakanisau, that's it. I should be much better with Fijian names. I've watched enough of watched them play rugby. But yeah, we'll get
Oh
this
yeah,
right.
Fiji's really big on rugby.
Here's Wakanisau again. It's a very good length ball struck on the pad. It's got to be close. It was very full. It was very, very full, and Vagi was coming forward. And in fact, it was Parla coming forward, and that looked fairly good to me. Wakanisau's bowling over the wicket, so that's always a sign that it's hard to get an LBW bowling to a left-hander when you're a right arm over the wicket. This next one's shorter, and they get through for a single as Parla, I think, just got a bit of glove on that. The umpire's just checking with a square leg umpire. Yes, it looks like it was off the glove as it went down into the leg side, and they got through for a single. So that voice you can hear in the background is Afi, who's basically coordinating all of this stuff on behalf of Indonesian cricket.
Apologies about that. I thought my voice wouldn't hear at that distance, but
No,
as we see some helicopters coming in here with the noise as well.
Yep. No, that's fine. It's, you know, at this sort of level, you have got to be able to multitask. It's not like there's a load of extra helpers and everything like that. But no, we're very grateful for you to give your time, Afi, to
No problem.
join us here on the commentary. I know you've got lots of other stuff that you're supposed to be doing, so
We'll get some more people to come here and have a few words.
this one's driven nicely by Vargi, but straight to the cover fielder, and there's no run there. That was Naiseru, and so this is a better over from Wakanisau. Just the one conceded off the first 3 balls. But it's really great to see this, Indonesia hosting, a tournament of this stature, as Wakanisau comes in again, and this time Vargi's playing it just in front of square. There was a fielder just behind square, which meant they're able to get through for a single. Vargi moves on to 2. And Parler's also there on 2. And just 2 balls left in the second over. PNG, good start, 11 without loss. Yeah, it's great to see a tournament of this stature being hosted by Indonesia, and I think one of the reasons it's, we're lucky here to have this ground in Bali, which is just, because of the nature of the ground, which I'll come back to in a moment. Here's Wakanisau. This one's down the leg side. Parler can't catch up with it, and it's signalled wide. But yeah, just having this artificial wicket here means that you can just play a lot of cricket, basically, right?
Correct. The cricket's never stopped here with all the tournaments going on, especially this couple of months where we had Mongolia come over, Thailand men's.
Plus
now the ICC under-19 as well. So yeah, a lot of tournament.
This is a full toss this time, and struck on the pad is Parler, and not quite sure what happened there. Oh, that's cheeky from the Fiji fielder. I think she was trying to effect a run out. Something's happened to Parler, and Vargi was obviously concerned, so she charged down the wicket. Yes, and the fielder there from Fiji, I'm pretty sure she was thinking about the run out there. Oh, I think she's
appealing for a caught behind, is it? But didn't give. But
no,
what happened there?
I think what's happened is the batter, in swinging against that full toss, I don't think it was because she was struck on the pad. I think she might have twisted her ankle or something. You just see she suddenly fell down. But anyway, she's back to her feet now. So that's good to see. So Parler's again facing Wakanisau. And she's clean bowled.
I think the stump's broken too.
Yes, I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. I must have done at some point, but yeah. Clean bowled was a full-length delivery, and off stump has been snapped off about, I don't know, a fifth of the way up the stump. So hopefully you've got some extra stumps.
Yep, the reserve umpire is running over with the reserve stump, so should be good.
Yeah, just looking at that again on the replay, she went wide on the crease, Wakanisau. It was outside the line of off stump, and perhaps might have even just swung in slightly to the left-handed Parler, and it was a Yorker in the end, and Parler's on her way for 2. So very good over from Wakanisau. That is the end of the over. So 2 overs gone here at the Udiana Cricket Ground. PNG 12 for 1.
It's quite interesting bowler there by Wakanisau. I think she's very good at spinning the ball there, but also very accurate in the bowling. I think she's one of the best bowlers for Fiji. If I'm not mistaken, she also took 1 wicket from Indonesia yesterday, so good on her.
Yeah, it was a nice delivery and just clever tactics, just bowling wide on the crease, floating the ball. I mean, she's a medium pacer, but bowling the ball as if it was going to miss off stump, but I think it just swung a little bit, and it was just a perfect length delivery, and Parler played all around that. Anyway, it's going to be Ismaili to continue,
And batting next, replacing Pala is Lakshmi Rajadurar.
Rajadurai. Yes, okay.
Lakshmi.
And it's going to be Vargi facing the first one, and she sweeps this one down behind the keeper. They go through for one. Will they come back for a second? No, they've just going to settle for one there. So good shot there by Vargi. So Lakshmi Rajadurai. Well, I suppose just with a name like Rajadurai, I guess it gives you a bit of an indication about the makeup of the Fiji side. And one of my memories of going to Fiji is some of the food there is incredible because of the ethnic, Indian presence in the Fijian islands. And this next ball, Rajadurai is beaten outside the line of off stump. But yes, it's also, I had a friend from New Zealand. She was my boss actually in one of my early jobs. She was a Fijian Indian, and some of the food is quite amazing. So, and not surprising, of course, Indians love their cricket no matter where they come from. This next one's wide outside the off stump, left alone by Rajadurai, and there's it's one more to the total. It's signalled wide. PNG move on to 14 for 1. Here she comes in again. Oh, that's a good ball outside the line of off stump. And Rajadurai was looking to cut that one away. Didn't make contact. Through to the keeper. And no run there. So better bowling there from Isameli. Just lost her run there, so go back to the top of her mark. At least I made it on time today, Afi. Not like was it last week during the men's tournament against Thailand. This one's driven up to mid-on. There's no run there. Yeah, just getting across town, even in the mornings, is it's hard work. I live out to the west of the southern part of Bali, and of course Udiana Cricket Ground's kind of just below Denpasar, really, in the Jimbaran area. Yeah, so it's a real headache, but thankfully I had plenty of time when I got here today. This next one is driven through the offside. It's timed beautifully. Will it go all the way? It's just slowing up just before the boundary, and they've got two. They think about a third, but no, they don't. They don't take the third. So beautifully driven by Rajadurai there. There was a big gap at cover. She found it, and as I alluded to before, we haven't had any rain for a while now. So
Oh yeah, it's been 2 weeks, I think.
yeah, and I was just thinking, even in the space of a couple of weeks since I was here for that men's tournament, or the men's bilateral series against Thailand, I can see already it's getting much drier here. You know, there's patches of brown that just weren't here 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
But yeah, it's very hard for the groundsman when the...
Oh yeah, it's a tough work, the groundsman. Yeah, because obviously one day you have rains, and then the next week you don't have rain at all, and it becomes brown. So they need to, water all the grounds here every day, every night.
Yeah, and then if you have a lot of rain, then of course it's very difficult to mow.
Correct. You'd have to adapt between the seasons, obviously.
Yeah. So it's Isameli again. Nice high action. And it's just defended this time, just behind square, or behind point by Rajadurai. Good bit of fielding there. Shy at the stumps, but no chance of a run out. So just in terms of structure of this tournament, Afi, so you've got this qualifying series between these 4 nations at the moment. Well, first of all, is there just like one winner, or do 2 people go through, and then if so, what happens after that?
So this is the only qualifier. So one team will go through directly to the World Cup, which will be in Malaysia in 2025. So the structure of the this qualifier is 4 teams will meet twice. Whoever wins the most will get through to the next, which is the World Cup, essentially.
Oh, right.
So yeah, direct qualification to the World Cup. So
Malaysia,
all at stakes here.
Malaysia 2025. Maybe we should consider booking our tickets now.
Yeah.
Or is that a bit ambitious? Here's this new over
that's
starting.
A good swing there.
Yeah, beautiful pull shot there by Vagi. It is this time, as it is Wakani Sao beginning the new over. It was a short ball and just timed beautifully. And 2 further runs to Vagi. She moves on to 5. PNG on to 20 for 1. Well, that's pretty cool. Malaysia, that was wide outside off stump as well. That's not an easy shot to play, actually. And also, in fact, that went away for 4. I saw the fielder throwing it in, but actually that went away for 4. So lovely shot there from Vagi. And she's just defending.
I think that's the first boundary of today the game. So well done.
Yeah, just that previous shot. That was a good metre outside off stump, and she hasn't got the longest arms in the world. So that to be able to pull that over mid on, out to the boundary with that power, is very impressive. This is a full toss this time.
Full toss there. Just time it well. Caught it.
Could be a no ball though. It's caught and bowled. It's not signal no ball though. I just thought, given that Vagi's quite a short batter, that might have been considered a waist-high full toss. But anyway, she swung across the line and could only lob it back to the bowler. I reckon that was above her waist for sure.
It is.
Yeah. So she's a bit unlucky there. That really should have been called a no ball, I have to say. But anyway, I'm not out in the middle, and I got to get the benefit of the replay. Umpiring's never easy. Maybe it's because the square leg umpire is so tall that his eyes directly down made it look lower than it actually was.
That could be the answer.
Okay,
so we'll have the captain batting now, Dika Lohia. She's previously also played in the World Cup qualifier 2 years ago in Bali.
Oh, right.
Now she's the captain of PNG team.
Okay. So it's Wakani Sao again from the northern end of Udiana Cricket Ground. And that's just dabbed behind point by Lahia. So she's off the mark very first ball. PNG on to 21 for 2. Oh. If you hear that, oh no, I hate it when that happens. Oh, I should know better. How long have I lived in Bali? I'm talking about my sandwich. It's got ants crawling all over it. I should have.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
I should have been much more aware to that. I'll try and salvage it. Anyway, Wakani Sao, and this time it's Raja Durai beaten outside off stump, not taken cleanly by the keeper, but they're not able to get through for a bye. Yeah, the bane of my life. These are tiny little ants, and they just appear from nowhere if there's any food roughly in the direction of their mouths.
So Wakani Sao now bowling his last ball of this over.
It's
it's
a full toss, and it's
toss
swung
up
away.
in the air.
And it's over the boundary for 6. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a free hit as well.
We'll see.
Yeah.
No ball, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really impressive shot from Raja Durai. It was a big full toss. well above waist height. She pulled it behind square over the boundary for 6. We got a great view of that. Lovely shot.
So this one's a free hit now. Makanisa will bowl to Lakshmi. Raja Durai. Oh, that's a wide there by Wakanisao. It's not over yet. This over for Wakanisao.
I'm not sure I'm sure I have seen that before, but I just wonder, it's supposed to be a free hit, but it's a wide. Kind of, there's something quite ironic about that. Here's Wakanisao again, last ball of the over. And it's lofted in the air. Over mid-on, fielder going back, ball bounces, and they get back for 2. So Raja Durai in this over, showing she can definitely time the ball. And PNG after 4 overs, they're on 31 for 2, going along at 7.75. Anyway, for those that are interested, I think I've managed to salvage that sandwich. Some might say it's a bit unhealthy, but hunger rather than health is probably my priority this morning. Nice sandwich it is too, from Lucid Cafe in Jimbaran. Very nice service there as well. Highly recommended if you're in the area. Not that they're an official sponsor, of course, or anything. Just a nice place to have something to eat, a coffee and a sandwich before work, as they say.
That's good to know.
Just in Pepito, if you want to be more specific. So it's going to be a continuation from Ismaili. Second over was much better than the first. Here she comes in, the right arm, very tall woman, and this is cut into the cover region. Mid-off comes round and cuts it off. It was quite mid-off. Mid-off was deep there. That was Pulter, and she restricted the scoring to 1. So Lahia goes on to 2.
I think that's 1 run.
Just the 2 singles so far from Lahia. 2 off 2 balls, in fact. Here's Ismaili. This is a good length delivery, and Raja Durai is beaten outside the line of off stump. There's no run there. So Effie, you're getting pretty close to needing a second home in Bali at the moment.
That's true, that's true. I've been here for the last couple of weeks, so...
This is a full toss this time. Raja
It's no
Durai,
run.
yeah, can't cash in there. Just hit it back to the bowler. But logistically, it must be quite a challenge for you guys, because you're based in Jakarta, and I guess that's where all the big business and everything is, and there's probably the most teams and all that sort of thing, which just come back to in a moment. Yeah, this time Raja Durai is cutting to point. There's a fumble there, so she's able to get through for a single. She moves on to 10.
Yeah, obviously we've still had coordinate our businesses in Jakarta, but with today's technologies, you can always work from anywhere. So we have to go to Jakarta for a couple of meetings, but yeah, we can manage that. We can manage that so far, and we can task
This is down the leg
Another wide
side.
there.
Yeah, signal wide. 33 for 2. 2 balls left in this over. But what I was meaning more is because you play so much cricket in Bali, you know, is there ever a sense of maybe we should actually just move our operation to Bali?
It's not gonna, you know, because we have our Ministry of Sports and all other businesses are in Jakarta, so we still have coordinated with them, and also well, it's just high performance center actually, so
Right.
yeah, we can do that.
Of course, the national sides. Just come back to that. Here's Ismaili again, last ball of the over, and this is swung in the air, over mid on. It's going to hold up in the outfield. She didn't time it as well as she might have. Anyway, they get back for 2, so it's 2 more to Lahia. She moves on to 4, and at the end of the 5th over, it's 36 for 2. But when you say the high performance centre, my understanding is that the national sides, not at this level, but the men's senior side and the women's senior side are actually permanently based in Bali.
Correct. So both male, female, under 19 are based in Bali right now. They all come from different provinces. Jakarta, Papua, NTT, West Java, all the provinces. They came and stay here. We cover their expenses, accommodations for them to train 7 days a week. So yeah, it's a contracted player basically.
Here's a new over, and it's pulled over mid wicket. Not completely time as 2 fielders converge on that, and it's 2 more for Raja Durai. So she's going along nicely. She's on 13 off 12. So it's a full toss from Wakani Sao. She's got 2 for 21 so far into her 3rd over. Here she comes in again. Bright sunshine. It's pulled again. Similar shot to the previous ball, but there's a fielder out on the square leg boundary who does well to get to it. That's Rokoro, and restricts the scoring to 1. So Raja Durai now on to 14 off 13.
I can see Raja Durai have some aggressive batting here in the last over before the power play finish.
It's a good point, that. She also plays nicely through the covers. And this next one from low to low here is pulled through mid wicket. There's a big chase out towards the boundary and beautifully stopped, football style. But they're going to come back for 3. Are they? No, they're going to just. They'll settle for 2.
I
So
think both batters might have thought they got the boundary, but probably just stopped there by the Fiji fielders.
it's a nice shot from Lahia through the leg side. So Wakani Sao just straying onto leg a little bit in this over.
Oh, it is a 4. So it did touch the boundary there.
Oh, I see. Okay, good spotting. And this time Lahia's playing it behind point and able to get through for a single. That was interesting. From where we're sitting, we're quite a long way from where the ball was stopped on the
Yeah,
boundary.
couldn't really see the boundary line from
I
here,
thought-
but it looks like it was stopped. But umpire have better views than us, so
This time it's just defended into the leg side by Raja Durai, and there's no run. Well, the other possibility, of course, is maybe one of the Fijian support staff or other team members were very close to that. Maybe they said, oh, actually, they went for 4. Here's Wakani Sao again. Last ball of the over. And Raja Durai this time carves that one away over point, out towards the boundary. This time it's fielded inside the boundary, and they're able to get back for 2. So she's going.
It's a
along.
4 runs. I think it was probably just signaled that 4. So another 4 runs there by PNG batter.
In fact, it was. You're right. It's just flashed up on the scoreboard as well. I could have sworn she fielded that inside the circle, inside the boundary line. But again, it's probably 50 or 60 yards away. And that is the end of the power play. End of the 6th over. PNG, it's been a good start by them. Going along at 8 and over, 48 for 2. Someone's just ordered some Starbucks coffees. That might be for the chairman, actually. So that means the field can spread a little bit more now, so Fiji can have a little bit more protection.
I think they put all the fielders allowed outside, right? One.
We're going to have a bowling change here. It's going to be Raika Talau. She's just going to come off a few paces. Keep her standing back though. This first one is carved past point, and there's a chase towards the boundary, and it makes it all the way to the boundary. So lovely shot there from Lohia. The ball was there, and it was a square drive really, and Lohia moves on to 13. So this is an excellent partnership so far by the captain, and anyway, here's Raika Talau again. It's a huge full toss and swung away out towards the boundaries. A fielder coming round, can't cut it off. And that's 4, and very much a waist high no ball. It was probably more like head height actually.
Aggressive batting there by Lohia. 2 straight boundaries scored.
So what's it going to be here? It's a free hit. And it's smashed behind square out to the boundary for 4. So maximum toll taken off at no ball, effectively worth 9 runs. The 2 boundaries and the no ball. So excellent stuff from PNG, taking full advantage. It means there's still 4 more balls left in the over from Raika Talau. Lohia moves on to 21, so she hedges it ahead of Raja Durai. PNG on to 61 for 2. Going along at almost 10 and over here now. It's Raika Talau. It's another full toss, but there's an appeal. I think it must have hit her pad. It's a full toss when Lohia missed out on another opportunity there. Through to the keeper for no run.
Fiji is currently bowling a lot of full tosses here, so it's easier for the batters to obviously clear the boundaries. And I think PNG have really good batters, really good lineup to clear boundaries.
This one's driven in the air, down towards long on I should say. The fielder comes round, there's a slight fumble, and they're able to get back for 2. So Lohia moves on to 25. Batting very nicely indeed. This time she's just defending. In fact, she's on 23, I should say. She's on 23, not 25. That one's just defended. So 15 off the over so far, 1 ball left. That's Raika Talau. And Lohia's playing with very circumspectly. It was quite short. Surprised she didn't try and pull that one away. In fact, she just defended it. So that's the end of 7 overs now. 63 for 2. Raja Durai's on 18, and with her Lohia on 23.
So we've also got accompanied by EAP manager here, acting EAP manager Toby Cohen. How are you, Toby?
Thanks, Afi. It's a pleasure to be here.
What do you expect from the second day here? We've got Fiji versus PNG and Indonesia later versus Samoa. Exciting games.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting day yesterday, wasn't it? Particularly that second match between PNG and Samoa. So I suppose we'll probably see a bit more of that excitement today. This morning's match with Fiji and PNG, both teams searching for that first win. So that will be a big moment for them, to whichever team does end up getting their campaign started, I suppose. And then really looking forward to this afternoon's match as well.
So we've got a bowling change here. It's going to be Maui Toga coming in from the northern or cuter end of the ground. And that first ball is just wide outside off stump, and there's no run. Toby, nice to have you in the commentary position. I was going to say commentary box, but it'd be way too hot to have a commentary box in Bali, so we'll call it the commentary marquee. Where are you from, Toby?
It's great to be here. The marquee, it's lovely to have a nice breeze coming through. So we're based in Australia, in Melbourne, so we work out of the Cricket Australia offices there as part of the East Asia Pacific region.
All right. As Lohia, or Raja Durai I should say, plays that next ball out to the point boundary where there's a fielder and one further run. And here's Maui Toga again. And this one's almost caught and bowled. She smashed it straight back to Maui Toga, who just fumbled it, had a couple of attempts, and there's no run. So a life there for Lohia. Maui Toga, what can she do this time? This time it's played once again out to the fielder coming off the boundary at point. And one more to Lohia. She moves on to 24. PNG on to 65 for 2. Well, I suppose being a Kiwi based in Bali and a sometimes cricket commentator, very, very grateful for you allowing Indonesia to host this qualifying tournament, Toby. Didn't have to drive far at all. This one's defended into the covers.
Yeah, it's a great place to come watch cricket, isn't it? In perfect conditions, blue skies, particularly at this time of the year when, if you're down in the southern parts of Australia or New Zealand, it's pretty cold. So if you can escape to Bali, Indonesia, in perfect conditions, wow, what a shot.
As this one's pulled over square leg into the stand for 6. It's a beautiful shot from Raja Durai. It was short. She pulled it away and it sailed over the boundary for 6. She moves on to 25. And PNG racing along now, 72 for 2. And just one ball left. Just watch the replay. It was short. Got all of that. Raced away.
Sat up nicely, didn't it, for Raja Durai? So Maui Tonga will be wanting to respond.
And this time she's just trying to work it into the leg side. Hits her on the thigh pad. There's no run, and at the end of 8 overs, PNG 72 for 2. So is there any particular reason why Indonesia's the host, or does it sort of rotate, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. We do run an application process for all our pathway events in the region. For all ICC events, we have an application process, and Indonesia had a really good application for this event in particular, especially given that they did previously go to the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup last year and hosted the event in 2022 as well. And the feedback from that event was really positive from PNG as a participating team and the match officials and everyone. So it's a reward for Cricket Indonesia in terms of what they've been doing to develop the game, and particularly the women's game. And as you can see, with Indonesia's performance yesterday, it made sense for them to be hosting this event. We do have another 3 pathway events in the region this year, and they're across Samoa and South Korea.
So Raika Talau's begun a new over, and both the first balls were defended by Lohia. She's on 24 off 17. Raja Durai 25 off 19. So what did you say? Is it South Korea and...
Yeah, so this is the first of 4 events, pathway events in the East Asia Pacific region this year.
Is this one skied by Lohia? There's a fielder getting under it. Oh, and there's a collision with the bowler. Oh, and now they're having a little bit of a chuckle about that. It was Rokoro who was at mid-wicket. Came in, she was under it, but Raika Talau was also going after it, and was one of those, oops, sorry, one of us should have called moments, and Lohia survives. Here's Raika Talau again, and it's just defended this time to mid-square leg. Sorry.
So this is the first of 4 pathway events in the region this year. The under-19 women's, and then we have an under-19 men's Division 2, which is taking place in Samoa in August, followed by a men's sub-regional also in Samoa, and then another men's sub-regional in South Korea at the end of September. So it's great to see cricket being spread around the region across multiple events, which is really exciting for all members, both participating and host members within the region.
I've never been to Samoa. I've been to Fiji, but that's basically the only part of the South Pacific I've been to. Here's Raika Talau, and she beats Raja Durai outside off stump, and so she bowled a tidy over there. That is the end of the over. So just one more over until the drinks break, as we see a replay of that catch, and they both went for it, and I think Raika Talau realised probably she should have left that for Rokoro. So it's 73 for 2. All right, so there's three tournaments in Samoa. It's very interesting. Of course, I know a little bit about Samoan cricket. Ross Taylor's a friend of mine who's of Samoan heritage. Of course, a Black Caps legend. This one's swept behind square. There's a bit of excitement in the field, but they get through for an easy single.
Yeah, Ross is he's almost eligible to represent Samoa again, I think. So it's been a few years since he's represented New Zealand, so he might be putting his hand up in August at that men's sub-regional for one of those 2 events in Samoa. So who knows, the call might go out. I'm not sure if he'll answer it or not, but he's been a big supporter of Samoa cricket, and you never know, you might see him in the Samoan colours.
Yeah, this next one, and he's just she's struck on the pad, Raja Durai, but there's no run, and she's still there on 25 off 23. She's batted really well too, along with Lohia on 26. This is down the leg side, and it's a leg glance, although it may have come off the pad, so they go through for a single. Just watch for the umpire's signal. No, in fact it is it's a one further run to Raja Durai. Yeah, I was actually chatting to Ross the other day, just unrelated to anything else, but he's sort of like an ambassador at the moment for Major League Cricket, as this next one is she's beaten Lohia outside off stump, and for the MLC he's assistant coach and batting coach for the Seattle Walkers, who he played for last year. But I know he's still playing like kind of Masters and invitational stuff and all that. This next one is just defended away by Lohia.
Yeah, I have a feeling he may have been over in Indonesia. Was it last year for a Masters event?
Yeah,
or some sort of event. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him in Jakarta roughly about this time last year, and it's cut away this time by Lohia. We could look for 2 here. She's always keen to look for the second Lohia, but they only got the one.
That's-
Yeah, he played in it. I think there's someone. It's one of those ones where someone's got a really nice cricket ground and they just bring players over. And I think Mark Greatbatch, the former New Zealand international, was heavily involved with it. Anyway, we're up to the drinks break, so we'll just pause there for a moment. And it's 72 for 2, and we'll be back shortly. Well, I think we've just set a world record there for the fastest ever drinks break. I had one bite of my sandwich, Toby, and got to prepare again, as it's going to be a little bowling change coming up here. This is the person you were just talking about, actually, Vuli. Vuli coming into bowl. Number 9, I should say.
No, is it Jasville Rockero, I believe.
Well, this is the official team sheet, so I think I'll probably stick with this one. Yeah, okay, I see the error is this first one's just defended into the leg side. So yes, this is Vuli, the duo Vuli.
I think it's Jasville Rockero with the number 9.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I see the error that I've been making as this one swung away over mid-wicket, heading out towards the boundary and into the boundary for 4. So lovely shot there from Lohia, just opening his shoulders, lifting it over over mid-wicket, and there's a fielder at deep mid-wicket, but wasn't able to get round and cut that off. So I see the error of my ways here, Toby. I've been looking at 2 sets of numbers and I've been looking at using the wrong one, so thank you for pointing that out. Here's this next one is just fielded up at mid-off. So Lohia moves on to, she's on 31 now off 25 balls, very impressive. PNG on to 80 for 2. That's another big full toss, and she pulls it into the leg side, doesn't time it, and goes through for a single, but I think that, yes, it's been signalled a no ball, so it's going to be a free hit. This time it's swung away up to mid-on by Raja Durai. Moves on to 27. In fact, that was Lohia. Moves on to 30. No, I'm sorry, that was... yes, that was Lohia, and this one is defended by Lohia. So 32 to Lahir, 27 to Rajadurai. Rokoro.
She's just being called for a front foot no ball for a back foot being outside the white line there on the side. So it's probably a new experience for her.
I might have to explain that one to our viewers as well, as it's 2 further runs to Lahira. She plays it behind point. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, Toby. Good spotting. Yeah, basically the return crease is the umpire's just explaining it again now. The return crease is the white line that faces up and down the wicket, and what the umpire's just signalling is that she cut the return crease with her back foot. And so, yeah, you don't see that very often. And anyway, this next one is just let go through the keeper. In fact, it's a wide. Yeah.
So umpire Kalidas Viswanadan from Malaysia, one of our 4 umpires at this event. Of course, he's umpiring today with Claire Polisak from Australia. And then we also have Alu Kappa PNG and Marielle Kenny from Vanuatu as our 4 match officials, with tournament referee Trudy Anderson across New Zealand. So quite a diverse match official group with 5 different countries represented in that group today.
Here is Rokoro again, and this one's swept on the bounce to backward square, and they get through for another run. So that takes a score at the end of the 11th over. It's now 90 for 2. Ah, there's a name from the past, Trudy Anderson. Canterbury player, of course, in New Zealand. A bit of a famous name in women's cricket, and sort of in the days before it had the big profile. But yeah, I remember, I'm sure she played for Canterbury, and I'm pretty sure she was a batter mainly.
I think you're spot on there. I do believe she was a Canterbury player. We were talking about it just earlier today. So
I was a proper cricket geek when I was young. Still am, but like serious when I was young. I used to read, there was a thing called the New Zealand Cricket Annual, and it had every scorecard of every fixture at pretty much every level as a new over begins, and it's Raika Talau with a change of ends, and it's played away out to the backward point, or in front of point actually, for a single, and it takes Rajadurai onto 29, brings Lahir back onto strike. So PNG going along very, very nicely here. They're well set for a big total. Still a long way to go in this innings, as this time it's pulled away behind square, out towards the boundary, and the fielder coming round there was Vuli, and she couldn't cut it off, and 4 more runs to Lahir. She moves on to 39 off just 30 balls. But yeah, that was a very different age back then. I mean, one thing that I remember specifically, well there's a few differences. I mean, the game's obviously professionalised a lot. Here's this one is a full toss to Lahir, but she can't beat the fielder at mid-wicket. That's Naimara there. And there's no run. It's Raika Talau. And this one's played just up to cover by Lahir. But yes, the game's changed a lot. I mean, it's professionalised, skill levels have evolved. I'm talking about women's cricket at the highest level now. And but back then, you know, it was an amateur game. Here's Raika Talau, and she beats Lahir outside off stump. Amateur game, didn't play that much from memory. And the other thing too is you take it as a given these days that men and women wear exactly the same outfits. I mean, they didn't used to back then. Women had a different type of outfit. There's another full toss from Raika Talau. Hit up to mid-off, long off, one further run.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're very fortunate to also have here as part of the 100% Cricket Future Leaders program the mentor and ICC Hall of Famer Catherine Fitzpatrick, who I'm sure you would know as a lethal fast bowler for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. How long ago, how far back was she still playing? Like 10 years maybe?
Yeah, probably 15 years ago, I would have said, and then became coach of Australia and has coached quite a few teams. But even just chatting to her yesterday about how far the women's game has gone and hearing about some of the events they'd go to and what accommodation and transport they would get, and then how it all, I suppose, has changed quite a lot over the last 5 years. Some huge developments across women's cricket, and it's great to see, leaders in this space. I think the ICC is doing a big job in terms of getting more awareness and more broadcast. Even the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup, its first iteration was only last year, and you can see the effect that is happening. That is having on cricket. That this event here has gone from 2 teams to 4 teams in the EAP region.
We've just seen a boundary there to Lohia as Maui Toga began a new over off a second ball. In fact, it was pulled away behind square as Lohia moves on to 44 now. This one's just defended into the leg side. They'll get through for the easiest of singles. Yes, it's definitely I think it's actually a reflection on cricket in general that the popularity of cricket has just changed so much. I look at come back to that. Here's Maui Toga, and this one is hit in the air down towards long on, bounces well in front of the fielder, coming in there. That's Akosita, and there's one further run to the total, and yeah, in fact the 100's up now. 102 for 2, I should say. Just a little bit of a false start there from Maui Toga. Oh. Toby's just corrected me there with the pronunciation. Yes, Maui Tonga. That I should be calling that.
I've had a lot of challenges with quite a few of those names and have been corrected a few times from those around. So still learning the correct pronunciations. There's quite a few names that from my background, it's not every day that I see these names. So it's all part of the learning experience, isn't it?
Absolutely. Here is Maui Tonga again, and this one's pulled away out to mid-wicket by Lahia, and she gets through for another single. She's up to 46. Yeah, actually, just that particular pronunciation I know a little bit about. It's like the word. That's the end of the 13th over. 104 for 2. The city, which is spelt Nadi, pronounced Nandi, right? But if you didn't know, or if you didn't hear it, and if you're not from the region, so thanks for pointing that one out, Toby. I appreciate that. Actually, it's unlucky. I should get my friend Miles to come down. He's living in Vietnam at the moment, and he's basically a house dad. He's from Fiji. Maybe I should get him to come and help me out. As this one is played away out to deep square leg by Lahia. That takes her on to 47, so approaching a 50, and thought of an overthrow, but not. But yeah, and I mean also, like, I think of a guy who used to play rugby for New Zealand, like, Joe Rokothoko, but if you didn't know how to pronounce that, you might say Rocococo. So yeah, I appreciate you coming over and giving me these tidbits of information. And also, that's a wide, so one further run to the total. I remember commentating rugby once, and there was a guy playing in I think it was Transvaal, or one of the South African sides came to Wellington. There's this next one from Rakoro, is played down the ground, and it's actually gone all the way very close to the boundary from Raja Durai, but I think it's just going to be 2. But his name was written as you might say it if it was if you if you thought it was in English, which it could be, right? Because that's this one's wide outside the off stump from Lakoro and one further run to the total. But his name was literally Lagrange, and as if if it was spelt in English, and here is another wide delivery. So she's just losing her way slightly here, Rakoro. The total ticks on further, up to 109 for 2. But I went to meet the manager before the match. I was very diligent back in those days, trying to impress, people that I was, that I did my homework and all those sorts of things. And this next one's just defended. And in fact, they're going to get through for a quick single. So well done there. Good call from Lohia. Anyway, he said to me, I said, just talk me through the pronunciation of all the players. And this one, Lagrange, he said it was Lachransi. So he just had an Afrikaans name, a bit like Manus Labascatni,
Yeah.
And anyway, this one here is pulled straight to mid-wicket by Lohia. There's no run. So 3 wides in this over, which means still 2 balls left. But yeah, I guess it's quite interesting listening to when just wait for this next delivery. It's cut, and it's cut beautifully by Lohia down towards the boundary, but it's not going to make it all the way. She'll get back for 2. That takes her on to 49. PNG up to 113 for 2. But it's like when Manus plays in Australia, some of the commentators call him Labascatni because they just that's what his name is, and then some of the South Africans are just a bit softer on it. It's like, yeah, we'll just stick with Labuschagne. If he wants to be called Labuschagne, we'll call him that. It's this last one from Lohia, plays it up to mid long on, and she'll get her 50. It's beautifully batted. 50 off 42 balls. Great captain's knock, and she's really leading the way here for her side. 114 for 2 at the end of the 14th over. PNG going along at 8.14. But also, just finishing this conversation off, Toby, it's I like one thing I'm trying to make an excuse for myself, but when I went on to Cricinfo yesterday, for example, I was trying to find the scores for this tournament. Is this next one, Rakoro it is, and it's driven by Raja Durai up to long on for a single. This comes back to the point that I was making about there's just so much cricket on at the moment. It's just impossible to find. Well, not impossible to find, but hard for an organisation to cover everything. And you look at something like Cricinfo. This one's wide outside off stump, and it's signalled wide. How can they actually cover everything? But related to that, when I was watching Thailand men versus Indonesia men, like Google's covering it, so it's just, I don't know, this comes back to the point I was making about popularity of the game. It's just become so mainstream now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, cricket is probably the second most popular sport in the world, or it is, based off viewership, and within Asia it's the most popular sport in the world. So in terms of numbers, I mean, you just think about some of the countries like India, for example, and how fanatic that country is about cricket, but that's now becoming a lot more spread throughout the world. Within the ICC, we've got 108 member nations now, which means that there's cricket activity at least, at a sufficient level to become an ICC member.
Yeah, this next one from Maui Tonga is played out to mid-wicket, and they come back for a second, so that's good running. Lohia moves on to 53.
Yeah, and I'd say, I mean, in terms of following scores online, it can be a challenge, particularly the amount of domestic cricket that is on show. The ICC website or the ICC app is always a good place to follow international cricket. So you can follow scores online for this match at the ICC website or the ICC app. But you're spot on. There is a lot of cricket happening all over the world, all hours of the day.
That's just prompted me to just check something out, which I'll do. Is just one ball left in this Maui Tonga over, and it's worked away behind square. They'll go through for the easiest of singles. That takes Raja Durai on to 34, and at the end of 15 overs, PNG cruising along, 121 for 2. Raja Durai's 35, and with her Lohia on 54. So I'm just going to Google this. Okay, so we've got PNG v Fiji. Sorry, my bit fat fingers. PNG versus Fiji today. No, that's not it. Okay, let me try cricket and see what happens. Just be curious to see if Google's covering this. No, maybe not. No, it's not there. But yeah, I was just really surprised the other day when I went on to Google, and I could basically get ball by ball update with commentary of Thailand men against Indonesian men, and I just wondered, well, how are they doing that? Are they following it off TV? Are they copying Crick Info? Well, Crick Info wouldn't be doing it, but Google was. I just found it fascinating, and sometimes I had a delay with the scores coming up on TV, so I had a backup option.
Yeah, as any associate member or would be able to tell you, with these matches that are now being streamed, there is a team of people around the world that are watching cricket off the stream. So, I mean, even at this ground today, we've got multiple cameras set up, so anyone anywhere around the world can be watching and following the scores online. And then I think in terms of Google, I'm not sure exactly how the Google algorithm works, whether they have a team of people that are watching these things, or if it's pulling information from a source elsewhere.
I suspect it is, actually. This next one's a full toss, and it's played away out to the square leg boundary. There's a pull shot there from Lohia. So Rikoru into her third over. She's got none for 26 at the moment. So it's hard work out there for Fiji with two set batters. It's Raja Durai this time, and it's a pull. Oh, she pulls it behind square. There was a fielder there on the 45. Unfortunately for Fiji.
It was called a no ball over the waist, it appears, so it will be a free hit.
Right, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but yeah, so that's Maria is Melly there. Of course, the opening bowler from earlier. And this time it's pulled away. Out to mid-wicket. Good fielding out there. A wide long on, really. Raja Durai moves on to 37. So couldn't take full advantage of the free hit. This time it's cut out to the deep point. Well fielded out there. They get through for a single. Takes Lohia on to 56. So I guess the question here for PNG, Toby, is whether Lohia might be able to go on and, well, it's probably a bit too far to get 100, but definitely can finish with a very high score. This one's lofted down the ground by Raja Durai. Long off's coming across to cut it off, and just the one run. What's the sort of highest score you've seen at this sort of level, individual and team?
Yeah, we haven't seen that much under 19 women's cricket, because obviously this is only this second event. But I would expect today this score that PNG are tracking will be the highest score at a pathway event.
Right.
At the under 19 Women's World Cup, there were some higher scores. We're looking at 180, that kind of score. But I'm sure there's people out there that would know what the records are in under-19 women's international cricket for high scores.
Well, the other thing too, of course, that under-19 World Cup, and it was in South Africa, right? I mean, they would have played on some good pitches too. That's guaranteed. I'm not saying this is, a bad pitch, but it's a concrete, artificial, which, doesn't suit everyone, but yeah, there could have been some pretty decent wickets, I would imagine, in South Africa. And, I just know from when I played, and I didn't play very well, but I just remember a couple of times just playing on really good wickets, and it does wonders for your confidence to just know that you're not going to get hit, it's not going to go along the ground,
Yeah, it's not just the pitch, but also the outfield, and probably some of those grounds in South Africa or at other grounds, the outfield can be cut extremely short. Here, you probably need to leave a little bit more grass in the outfield because there's so many games happening on the one ground, every day.
Yeah.
So you do need to leave a little bit more grass on the outfield, which means that it does play a little bit slower.
This time it's pulled away. Well, it was hoisted off the pads really by Raja Durai, out to the boundary for 4. This is Izameli back into the attack. Raja Durai moves on to 42, PNG on to 131 for 2. But yeah, I mean, I'm just imagining that at an ICC, senior level tournament played in a place like South Africa, for someone like from Indonesia, for example, this one's cut to backward in front of point. There was a fielder there. It was very low. Not sure whether that will go down as a chance or not. We might see on the replay. But it was in the air, but down round ankle height. Anyway, they get through for a single. I think that was Hazelman out there. Double check that if we get a replay, but I don't think it actually carried. There is Izameli again, and this one's driven back to the bowler. And they're going to get through for a single because she couldn't quite get across to it. So much dust in Bali at the moment, Toby. I had to drive an hour and a half to get here today on my motorbike, and I don't like wearing the visor. He's on 43, 133 for 2. Here's Izameli again. This one's in the air, down towards long on. It's going to be fielded, bounced safely in front of long on, and Raja Durai on to 44. But yeah, if you're an Indonesian under-19 player and you suddenly get to play in a place like South Africa, I imagine the quality of the conditions and the practice facilities and all those sorts of things would. And sorry, this is a very long way of saying I imagine the scores would be higher out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the level of the outfields, I think the ball races along. I mean, we're looking at a pretty big score today. Any score over 120 at this level, I think, is a big score. And PNG look to be on track to, about 170 or so. So, that would be probably their biggest score that they've ever scored at this level.
This time it's cut away in front of point, out to the boundary for 4. So Lahia, she moves on to 61. She's batted really well. That's 61 off 51 balls. Raja Durai too. I mean, she's kind of been going along in the slipstream, but she's 44 off 40. So 8.26. Yeah, it's impressive. I think also playing on an artificial wicket, I think that's a good decision by Bali to have an artificial wicket here. I mean, maybe they could make one cut strip for certain fixtures. Here's Izameli again. Raja Durai plays it to wide mid-on and gets through for a single. It just means you can play a lot of cricket, and also with a concrete artificial, it can't really do too much, if you know what I mean. It can't vary too much, and I mean it can be wet. That can be an issue, but generally and I think as the PNG team, or that the batters are showing today, is that they can bat confidently on a wicket like this, which Excuse me. Which leads on to my next question. In other parts of the world, in the region where you're where you're responsible for the administration of the game or overseeing it, what are the pitches like and what are the grounds like in other places?
Yeah, so there's a variation across the region. I think ideally in any country you like to have the option of being able to use artificial and turf in different situations. For somewhere like Bali and the way this ground is used at Udiana, an artificial pitch certainly makes sense for the amount of traffic that happens on the ground. But I know, as part of the long-term goals, I'm sure there'd be a goal there to have turf pitches as well, maybe alongside an artificial pitch. It's something that we see. So say in Japan, for example, they've got 2 turf pitches, grounds right next to each other out there in Sano, where they're currently hosting the Japan Women's Premier League. And I know there's a few players from across the region taking part in that. But they've also got the artificial pitch next to the turf square, and that seems to be a really good option. South Korea and Papua New Guinea also have the turf option as well. So it does require a bit of additional maintenance, but it's great to be able to provide that option. And then within Vanuatu, they've got a hybrid option. So I'm not sure if you know much about the hybrid pitches, but it's kind of a mix of synthetic underneath and then a turf layer on top. So it's just a one pitch and it gets relayed. It looks and plays like a turf pitch, but it requires less maintenance, and it's something that we hosted a men's qualifier there last year, and it played really well.
So in the meantime, there's been 3 singles, and just that last ball from Rokoro there was a waist-high full toss, so it's going to be a free hit with Raja Durai on strike on 45. So in theory, she could go to a 50 off this ball. She pulls that behind square. It's going to go away for 4. So she moves on to 49. Just playing that one off her legs, actually. Well, it wasn't really a pull shot. Just worked away. And she moves on to 49. I haven't heard of this hybrid pitch, but I'd like to ask you some more questions about that soon enough. But I think let's just focus on the chance of Raja Durai to go on to 50 here. 43 balls face, so excellent scoring rate. I've been super impressed with these two batters, and it's going to be just the last ball of the over. So let's see what Raja Durai can do now. Facing up to Rokoro. It's wide, so it's 1 more to the total. PNG up to 149. So Raja Durai might take the score through to 150 and herself through to 50 off the same ball here, which may well be this ball. Certainly wouldn't count on her not doing it, as she drives that one wide of cover and up to long off for 4, and that is her half century. So well batted, Lakshmi Raja Durai. Very, very impressive innings. And that is the end of the over, the 150 up for PNG. So just with what you were saying about having turf pitches laid next to artificial pitches, that's exactly what used to happen where I grew up in New Zealand. We'd have a few, but there was an artificial wicket. It was sort of there for 2 reasons. One, if it rained too much, so you could use it as a backup, and the other was just for the reason I gave earlier, to make it just a bit more fairer for batters and bowlers who perhaps weren't at senior standard or something like that, just to make it just to take all the sort of the unpredictability out of the pitch. So yes, 150 for 2 overs remaining. So Toby, I think your prediction of 170 is looking fairly good here. This one's worked away by Raja Durai out to mid-wicket. It's time for a single, as it's Raika Talau beginning a new over. She's got none for 23.
So Andy, in terms of within Indonesia, what type of, we talk about turf pitches and I suppose the different characteristics that turf pitches have. In Indonesia, have you seen any turf pitches, or what type of pitches do you think? Do we think it would be a more bouncy pitch like, say, the Wacker, or something like a green deck that you might have across New Zealand? What type of pitch do you think we could see if we do see more?
Unfortunately, Toby, I haven't seen it, and I haven't been around enough grounds yet to sort of to know, which is a whole different story. But this one's driven by Lahia up to long off. They're going to come back for 2 here, and that's very well run. She saw that she hadn't timed it completely, and they got through for 2. Yeah, I only just started following cricket in Indonesia back in about September last year, and I played my first game in Jakarta that was also in September actually, or maybe it was October, I forget which, but so I've only actually been to 2 cricket grounds, and this next one is wide outside the off stump from Raikkonen. So there's a place called GBK in Jakarta, which is basically a baseball diamond. So that's an artificial wicket for obvious reasons. It'd be virtually impossible to have a turf pitch there. But there is another cricket ground which I haven't played at. This goes out to square leg from Lahia. She moves on to 69. Score through to 157 for 2. Yeah, I know there's 2 or 3 turf wickets in the Jakarta area, and that may include one that I definitely know about in Bogor. But I understand there's a ground that's of a very, very high standard, which is just basically set up by some rich guy. Just decided he wanted a really nice cricket ground, so he did. Which may well have been the one that we referred to earlier when Ross Taylor was playing a match in Indonesia last year, in somewhere near Bogor. I was actually on my way to go to that game, but I don't know if you know much about Saturday traffic in Jakarta. It's not really the right. 10 o'clock in the morning was a shocker, so I just said to the driver, just turn around, let's just go home. It's not worth it. So I know that's not really much of an answer, but in places like Bandung, for example, since we come to the end of the 19th over, it's 157 for 2. Raja Derais on 51, Lahia on 69. That's the end of Raikkonen spell, none for 29. But yeah, places like Bandung and Papua, I don't know, because the other problem is, right, is you need to put in a bit of an investment to get a good, solid concrete artificial. The concrete's flat, the quality of the AstroTurf's good. But then you can kind of leave it after that. Whereas if you have a turf pitch, you also need to have someone who knows what they're doing, I mean, I wouldn't know how to prepare a pitch. I mean, you should have seen the ones in my backyard when I was a kid. They were a nightmare.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because just
This
last month...
Oh, sorry, just this next one from Lahia. It's Wakanisau beginning a new spell, and it was a full toss on leg stump, and it was crashed away behind square along the ground by Lahia. She moves on to 73. Maybe we should just focus on the cricket a little bit in this over, Toby. In fact, that was wide down the leg side. It was a big full toss, and it was swept away beautifully. So Lahia, 73. It's another full toss, and it's played behind square, down towards Toby and I, over the rope for 4. 77 for Lahia. Yeah, carry on, Toby.
Yeah, and a free hit. So, good start to this final over here from Lahia, the PNG Ciale's captain. Yeah, we're talking about pitches and the maintenance required in a turf pitch. Just last month we ran a pitch curator workshop in South Korea that was attended by delegates from Japan, South Korea and PNG, talking about the maintenance that is required for turf pitches, because you're spot on. It does require someone that knows what they're doing, and we want to see pitches that have the characteristics to that region, but also challenge the players. So with a turf pitch, it does challenge batters and bowlers to develop their skills in different ways, doesn't it?
Yeah. Here is Wakani South bowling to Raja Durai. She lofts that one down the ground. It's going to fall between two fielders. They're only able to get one. So Raja Durai on to 52. PNG on to 168 for 2. So that's been an unbelievably good partnership here from these two. Well over 100 now. Brings Lohia back onto strike. 3 balls left in the innings. She's just defending into the offside. They go through for 2. Just out of interest, what sort of numbers of grounds persons turned up to that? Like, was it 10, 20, or what sort of number?
Yeah, we had about a dozen attend.
Wow.
Yep.
That's interesting. Because it's not just, this is a really complicated subject, but I think just to get a pitch that doesn't pop off a length, doesn't keep low, that's really the main requirement. It's not about one that turns or one that bounces so much. But it can be a bit dangerous. That's what I'm saying, is that players can... I know for a fact when I was a kid, it can be very dangerous if it's not prepared properly.
Yeah, spot on. And just with that single there from Raja Durai, that's the 150 run partnership. So, wow.
Good spotting, Toby.
It's got to be some sort of record.
Absolutely. And this one is hit behind point by Lohia. It's the last ball of the innings. It was dropped, or behind square I should say. It was dropped, and they got through for a single. And that is the end of the innings at this East Asia Pacific Under-19 ICC World Cup qualifier. PNG finish on 171 for 2. Lohia unbeaten on 80, and Raja Durai unbeaten on 53. So, wow, it's going to be a mammoth chase for Fiji here. Well, mammoth target, I should say. We don't know if it's a chase yet because they haven't started. But Toby and I will take a bit of a break here while the players go off for a drink and a change of innings, and we'll be back shortly. So we're back, and it's going to be Fiji with a very, very difficult task after that amazing innings from PNG, getting them through to 171 for 2. Fantastic score. So opening for Fiji will be Hazelman and Ismaili. And opening the bowling for PNG will be Guraya. Here she comes from the northern end, and that's a short of a length delivery. Just defended by Hazelman. And there's no run. She is again, Guraya. It's a very good length delivery, although I think it's a front foot no ball. It is. And so that's not the best of starts, having a no ball so early in the innings. And it's a swing and a miss. So no damage done off that ball in terms of extra runs. And so she's got a bit of pace here, I have to say, Guraya. Very quick, and she's beaten this time outside off stump Hazelman. Here's this next one, and it's a good shout for LBW, but I may have been going down the leg side, I suspect. So Hazelman survives. There's a leg by, but she was beaten for pace, and it's one leg by to the Fiji total. And this one's just dabbed nicely by Ismaili. And down to third man for a single. It's not really third man, is it? Third, I guess is what you call it these days. Thirder, perhaps. Hazelman facing again, and that bounces on her, and it's just defended there. So that is the end of the first over. Fiji 3 without loss. Very good start by Guraya. Apart from the no ball, that was an excellent over. First ball of this second over being bowled by Lakshmi Rajadurai. No run taken. This is Ismaili. This one's down the leg side from Rajadurai, and it's called a single. hesitation this time. They thought about a single, but it was a very wise decision. This one's wide outside the off stump from Raj Durai. This time it's dabbed by Ismaili. Behind point, she gets through for a single. So she opens her account. In fact, she's on to 2, I should say. So here's Raja Durai again. Her off spin. Beats Hazelman outside off stump. There's no run. So tidy start here from Raja Durai. Apart from the 2 wides, there's only conceded 1 off the bat. 2 balls left in this over. And again, outside off stump, left alone. So Hazelman yet to get off the mark. Cut behind point to backward point, fielded there, and that is the end of the over. So 2 overs gone. Fiji 6 without loss, so 3 off both the first 2 overs. Beginning a new over, and Ismaili struck on the pad. Not given out. There was a bit of an appeal there. Here's Gurrea once again, and this time beaten outside the line off stump. There's an appeal. Was there an edge? No. Well, if there was, the umpire wasn't impressed by that one. And once again, it's a very good ball from Gurrea. Beating the outside edge of Ismaili through to the wicket keeper. And this next one's just defended into the offside. There's no run, so that's Parler behind the stumps. Ravi Ross Parler. In fact, no, it's not. Just double check the shirt number there. This next one is just defended away once again. In fact, that's Kaveri behind the stumps. Wearing a hat, despite the bright sunshine here at Udiana Cricket Ground. And this next one is worked into mid-wicket. Oh, there could be a horrible mix-up here, and unfortunately Hazelman's going to be run out. Ismaili worked it to square leg. There was a hesitation, and then the captain basically sacrificed herself. She could have easily run back to the non-striker's end. She came down, she stopped, and she started to run back, and then she sacrificed herself. Well, you'd have to say that's very good sportsmanship to her teammate there. It really was never a run, and Hazelman's been run out. Fiji loses their first wicket on the last ball of the third over. So that's 3 overs gone now. Fiji 6 for 1. So, because they crossed, it's going to be Ezameli on strike. The new batter is Rokoro. Day today here in Bali. Not too hot. Haven't checked the temperature, but it feels probably 28 or something like that. It's going to be Raj. It's a new over beginning by Raja Durai. Lakshmi Raja Durai. Batted excellently for a 50 earlier today. Again. And this time it's played to backward point. Zameli, no runs. This is very good bowling from Lakshmi Raja Durai. Just lost her line there. It's down the leg side. One further run to the total. That was a wide. There's no run. Fiji struggling a little bit here against some very tidy bowling from Papua New Guinea. One's outside the line of off stump. Izamili can't catch up with it. It's signalled wide. Time and signal wide again. So as we saw in the first innings when Fiji was in the field, quite a few wides early on here by PMG. And that's a better ball. Beats the outside edge of Izameli's bat and not fielded cleanly behind the stumps. They don't get through for a single there. Good backing up by PNG. And this time Izameli's bowled. It's a well-flighted delivery by Raja Durai. And Izameli not quite forward, sort of playing from the crease. May have turned in towards her because it took out the leg stump. See a replay of this now. Yes, that turned through the gate, so that's a beautiful off-spinner's delivery. So well bowled, Lakshmi Raja Durai. Through the gate, clean bowled. And Fiji lose their second wicket. It's 9 for 2. So we're going to see a bowling change here for PNG. It's going to be Duna Alex coming on. Kuta end of the ground, the northern end of Udiana Cricket Ground. She is off quite a long run, and it's quite a pacey delivery first up from Alex, but it's down the leg side and called wide. Just a reminder, yesterday Fiji in their opening match, they lost to Indonesia. PNG lost off the last ball to Samoa. And this is a defensive shot from Rokoro. By the way, the batter that's come in to replace Zameli is Poulter. Down the leg side, misfield there by the wicket keeper, and they get through for a bye. So Fiji on to 10. So Alex, quite a long run up. This one's played up towards mid-off by Poulter this time. And there's no run. Cover. Oh, the fielder runs back there. Wasn't able to take the catch. That was a skipper going back for that. Lahia, Dika Lahia. And they're able to get through for a single. So it was just over the head of it. She was at short cover really, so not a regulation cover. This time it's hit back, caught and bowled. Well done, Alex. It was just a little bit short, and Rokoro it was. Just not timing it. Just lobbing it back to the bowler on her follow through, and Alex takes the wicket. So great start by Alex. She's bowled 5 balls. She's 1 for 2. Just looking at where some of these players play their cricket, I think the most interesting one, at least from my angle, is Lakshmi Rajadurai plays her cricket for Parramatta Cricket Club. That's in Sydney. Quite interesting. Whereas all the rest of the players look like they play all their cricket in PNG itself. Don't recognise any of the other names of the clubs, so I'm guessing they're all based in Papua New Guinea. There is Alex again, and that's swept nicely by the new batter. That is Wanga Nisau. Thanks very much to the manager of the Fijian side, helping myself and Toby out with some of the pronunciations. Wanga Nisau, so she's off the mark first ball. A single down to fine leg. That's 5 overs gone here. So Fiji are in a spot of bother, 13 for 2. So another bowling change. Raja Durai, despite getting that wicket in the previous over, she's been replaced. And it's going to be Gabby Thomas. Gabby Wendy Thomas plays for the United Cricket Club. She has right arm over the wicket, and Wangani Sauers hit on the pad. Not a massive appeal there. No run. Here's Thomas again. And it's hit up towards mid-on. They take off for a quick single and get through. That's good running. Putting pressure on the field. Wangani Sau. Side, took off immediately. Very positive call. There's Thomas again. This one's worked into the leg side by Poulter. And there's a chance of an overthrow here. The throw came into the bowler's end from square leg. Not backed up there, and they managed to get through for 2. So Poulter moves on to 3. Wangani Sau is on 2. Fiji now 16 for 3. This one's worked behind square. Oh, and it's well fielded there. Ball got a very unlucky bounce out at backward square. That was Estavagi, the opening bat, and very well fielded, and she prevented any run being scored. It's Thomas again. Good action, and that's hit in the air to mid wicket and taken. Well taken. So that's 2 catches in 2 overs. By that was Alex again. So yes, 2 catches and 2 overs by Alex. And that is the end of the innings of just remind myself which one that was who got out, because they didn't cross, so that means Wangani Sau was there, so that was Poulter who was dismissed there. Akasika Poulter. So Indonesia, sorry, not Indonesia. We're in Indonesia. Indonesia's the host of the tournament, but Fiji, 16 for 4. So not a great start for Fiji. So the new batter for Fiji now is Miliana Wati. Thomas, very good first over. 1 for 3 so far. And it's outside off stump, and Wati tries to swing it away through the leg side. Doesn't make contact, and that is the end of the over. And the end of the power play as well. So Fiji 16 for 4, Wati yet to score, and Wangani Sau is on 2. Very good over there from Thomas. 1 for 3. Wide mid on. So good shot there from Wangani Sau. She gets through for a single. been handed a manager's tournament book basically, and it's just quite interesting from my perspective to see how many people are involved in this tournament. I've commentated on some local Indonesian tournaments and also internationals between the Indonesian men's side, the senior side, and the Thailand senior side. That was just a couple of weeks ago here at Udiana Cricket Ground, but just so many more people involved in this tournament just in terms of organisation. You've got David Musker, the ICC security manager, is listed as one of the officials. Toby, who of course was on commentary with me earlier. He's the ICC support. This one's down the leg side. Not signalled wide though, and there's an appeal. And given, oh, it's a stumping. That's beautifully done. Beautifully, beautifully done. I was looking for the wide, but of course, even if it was a wide, which it wasn't signalled wide, it was a great bit of work behind the stumps. In fact, it wasn't outside. Well, shows how much I can see. It was outside off stump, in fact, and what happened is Wati, she missed the ball outside off stump, and quick thinking behind the stumps, very, very quick thinking behind the stumps by Kaveri, the wicketkeeper, just lobbed the ball up to the stumps, and Wati had walked out of her crease, and she was given out. Not quite in the same way that Johnny Bairstow did at Lord's last year, but just not, just I guess a little bit careless, you might say, there from Wati. So Fiji lose their 5th wicket. They're now 17 for 6. First ball from Alex to the new batter Meki is just defended. I might have called that previous one down the leg side because from where I was standing it looked like it was a leg side shot. I'm actually in this over, I'm commentating from backward square leg, so that one's definitely down the leg side. I can see that for clearly, and it's a wide, and they run through for a single as well, so that's 2 more to the total. But yes, so I'm basically at backward square, or long leg you might say, in my commentary position. So very difficult to pick up the line, and I probably could commentate off the TV screen, but I prefer not to. Here's Alex again, and it's a swing and a miss outside the off stump by Wanga Siao. Good pace again from Alex. She's not the tallest, but she's got very good action and generates a fair bit of pace. Here she is again. And Wanga Siao just plays that one away out to cover point, and there's no run. That is the end of the 7th over. Fiji 19 for 5. Alex 2 for 6 off her 2 overs. We're just about to see a replay of that stumping. Yeah, Wati missed it. Initially, she put her bat in the crease. Oh, and then she stepped out of her crease and just didn't ground her bat back in the crease, and her foot was in the air. That's why the stumping was given. So just careless, certainly not reckless. Yeah, initially she did the right thing, put her bat back in the crease, but then she lifted her bat up again as Thomas begins a new over from the southern end, the Uluwatu end of Udiana Cricket Ground. It's just defended by Meki. So you'd have to say Whitey was actually a bit unlucky to get stumped there. She just made the mistake of lifting her bat up again. And Meki is clean bowled. Beautifully bowled by Thomas. It was a good length delivery from Meki. Thomas was prodding forward and stumps are splayed. So Meki goes without scoring. Fiji running all sorts of bother now. 19 for 6. I think we're heading for a pretty early lunch here. I wonder what's on the menu today. So yes, so just going back to this contacts list again. So Emily O'Brien is the tournament director. Actually, I met Emily on the way in today. So she's based in Australia. And then of course Affy, who was on commentary with me earlier, he's the local tournament director. And then there's various other people on this list of contacts. We have the venue manager, transport manager, managers of both the two hotels that the teams are staying at, the Paragon and the Sakala. And another first baller. You couldn't make it up, really. That's Vuli. Came in, very first ball, clean bowled. So very dominant. So Thomas just angling that one in. That was a wild swing, really. I mean, didn't really give herself a chance to play herself in there, Vuli. And Thomas angling it in. Was well pitched up and it took out leg stump. And Vuli's on her way. So it's a very sorry looking scoreboard here from Fiji. 19 for 7. Actually, I was talking to Toby earlier about what's happening on Google. So there's no official Google commentary and scorecard of this game today, but it's actually on many other websites. Just looking at this now. Very interesting. So the new batter is Raika Talau. Yeah, Sofa Score. Looks like we've got live scoring on Sofa Score today. Never even heard of it. For some reason I can't load that. This first one is defended and the hat-trick's averted. So Thomas, 2 wickets, 3 for 3 off 1.4 overs. Super impressive. And Cricket World as well. Let's see if they're showing it. And this is a swing and a miss from Raika Talau. So Thomas online for a double wicket maiden. In fact, that looks like an old scorecard. So yes, the ICC app. If you can't watch the game live on this YouTube stream, go to the ICC app or the ICC website to keep up with the score. Ooh. And that is just defended. So a double wicket maiden by Thomas. Super impressive. So 2 overs, 3 for 3. Just magnificent bowling. Interesting also, it says here that there's guess it's a standard protocol now for all ICC tournaments. As we see a bowling change, it's going to be Ranu coming into the attack. And Wangasiao struck on the foot, I think. And there's no run. But yeah, very high tech, not high tech, but I guess it's the nature of cricket these days. There's been a security assessment done for the tournament. This is another interesting fact. This one's outside the off stump from Ranu, and it's signalled wide. So there's a rest day coming up on Friday. So I've actually got another wedding ceremony on Friday, so kind of suits me, I think. And this is driven up to mid-on by Wangasiao, mid-off I should say, fielded up there, ball thrown into the keeper's end, very alert in the field. Other interesting things they do a health and nutrition session, a social media session. Social media session will be on Friday. And this one's played away by Raika Talau into mid-wicket. Thought of a run, but not taken. Very, very comprehensive. Ranu again. Yeah, it's a good length delivery. Yorker length, and it's dug out by Raika Talau. Not much he could have done with that. And it's just defended. And this is defended. Into the covers this time. So good over here. Apart from that wide, Ranu has only conceded one off the bat. It's the last ball coming up, last ball of the 9th over. And this one's driven into the covers. And no run again, so that is the end of the over, signalled by Claire Polsak at that end. And that is 9 overs gone now. Fiji 21 for 7. Alright, so it's going to be the skipper, PNG skipper Lohia coming on. Of course, she batted absolutely superbly earlier in the day in that partnership, the 150 run partnership with Raja Durai. She finished on about 75 unbeaten from memory. And yeah, she's bowling her off breaks now. There's a big swing there from Wangasiao. She hit that one into her pad, I think. And it went down behind the keeper. No signal from the umpire, so it's 1 to Wangasiao. She moves on to 5. Raika Talau yet to score. Away into the offside. There's no run. This one's in the air. And it's a beautiful catch. Oh, Lohia, what a catch. It was lobbed up in the air by Raika Talau onto the onside of the wicket, and Lohia diving away to her right, forward and to her right, just inches above the turf, and she took an amazing catch. That was absolutely superb. Just looking at the replay here, she made a great ground to that. Dived, took it one-handed, could have easily come out when her elbow hit the ground. That was a superb catch. So, Raika Talau's on her way without scoring. Fiji, as the drinks come out onto the field, 22 for 8. Maui Tonga is the new batter. Locks flowing out of the back of her helmet. Low here. Oh, that was just a simply stunning catch that she took. Those are not easy, those ones. Got to time the dive exactly right. And she did just that. Maui Tonga looks like she's off the mark first ball. Just checking to wait to see if the umpire signals. So it must have been an inside edge, so Maui Tonga's off the mark. And this one, Wangasiao plays it up to mid-off. Get through for a single. So it's Ranu beginning a new over. Let's hit up to mid-on. Misfield there, but very well backed up. Mid-off coming around. Could have easily just left that for mid-on. And Siao was able to get through for a single. Next one to Maui Tonga. Tries to play it into the leg side, but just can't get hold of it. It's hit on the pad, but I don't think there was any danger of that being given out LBW. Half-hearted appeal, really. This one's hit back up in the air. Caught and bowled. Well done by Ranu there. So we've had a few caught and bowls in the innings now. That's 3 by my count. Fiji, 25 for 9. Maui Tonga just lobbing it back in the air. Ranu steadied herself, made sure she didn't crash into the stumps, took the catch, and that is another wicket down. So that brings Tokelau to the crease. Tokelau, of course, that's the same name as an island in the South Pacific. Or a series of islands, I believe. I'm trying to think. I'm feeling Tokelau might be part of New Zealand's administration, a bit like the Cook Islands. I should know that from New Zealand. This first ball's down the leg side. They scamper through for a single. Is it going to be called wide? I don't think so. And it's okay. So just seeing the Indonesian side now, who'll be playing in the second match today. Walking over to have a bit of a warm-up and a practice. As this next one's played out into the deep behind square. Fielder out there comes in off the boundary. That's Guraya, the opening bowler. She was impressive earlier. One more to the total. That was to Warani Sal. She moves on to 8. So here's Ranu again. And this one's hit up in the air behind point. They think about a single. There's a misfield. And they'll get the single. So Tokelau, she moves on to 2. And that is the end of the over. So 11 overs gone now. Fiji 28 for 9. If you're just tuning in, earlier Papua New Guinea batted superbly, getting 171 for 2. And it's a magnificent partnership for the third wicket. Over 150. We're thinking maybe that's some sort of record. Maybe at this level. And it's caught and bowled again! So Tokelau off the first ball of Lohia's net new over. Lohia flighted the ball up and Tokelau lobbed it straight back to Lohia, who takes another caught and bowled. So that's 4 caught and bowled in the innings, and that is the end of the innings and the end of the match. So very comprehensive performance by Papua New Guinea, you would have to say. Batting first, they made 171 for 2, and in reply, they've dismissed Fiji for just 28. So Papua New Guinea win by 143 runs. That means it's their first victory of the tournament after losing to Samoa in the last over yesterday, and very, very comprehensive victory indeed. So we'll take a break. The next match is not scheduled to start until 1:30. Just check the time to see what it is now. It's an hour and a half's time from now. We'll be back, and I guess that means I can go have some lunch and look forward to the next match. As I say, I've just seen the Indonesian team arrive. I think the Samoan team's already here as well. Pretty sure I saw them arrive before. So I hope you enjoyed that opening encounter of day 2, and we'll be back around 1:30. So that's 1:30 local time. That's in 1.5 hours from now.